Hi there. On behalf of our team at Microsoft and all of us at Insight, we are excited for this chance to walk you through what is an entire new category of Windows PC, the Copilot PC. So over the course of this brief session, I want to let you know what there is to know about it, what opportunities it represents for you and your business, and what makes us so excited to have this conversation with you. It's an important time to do so because right now, I don't need to tell you, AI is all over tech. And a lot of our different customers are trying to find where they can incorporate generative artificial intelligence and other unique AI applications into their business. 75% of CEOs that were surveyed say that the organization with the most advanced generative AI wins, whatever wins means to them. And for that reason, we're seeing a similar number. About 73% are prioritizing AI over all other digital investment. And unilaterally, people feel that it helps them get things done faster. Well, we want to look at more than just what people feel. We want to provide them with devices that help them do things faster, more efficiently. And so we wanted to study this too. We had found that, according to these results, people are completing tasks faster, 12.2% increase in the completion rates, a 25% decrease in how long it takes to do so. Similar increase in the number of subtasks completed and the quality of responses to these subtasks, over 40% improved from before not using artificial intelligence. We talk a lot about Copilot. It is a Copilot, not autopilot. It's important that there is a human there who has the skills, knowledge, and expertise to review what the AI has put out, determine if it's factually correct, if it's relevant, or if it's frankly good. That doesn't change. But let's equip that person with a device that allows them to be as prepared for AI and all of the future applications as possible. We're so excited by the new era that this represents because as a part of it, we're able to provide you, our customers, with the fastest, most intelligent Windows devices that we have ever created. A Copilot PC is a special designation. You can think of it like a badge that a device can wear that informs you that it has met certain criteria. Though that criteria is really important to us, having high performance, good battery life, a neural processing unit so that it's ready for the future, and much more. So right now in our Insight catalog, we have devices that have up to 22 hours of video playback and 15 hours of web browsing so that we can be all day unplugged and put forward a quote that is closer to real life. We are also finding that the neural processing unit, a special chip for AI, and we'll talk about that in a moment, it's twice as fast as the competing MacBook Pro or MacBook Air devices. And on top of it, these are some of the most power-efficient devices that we can find. I'd like to show you a brief example of what a day in the life looks like using a Copilot PC in a business. what are these new tools, how they can affect business outcomes, how that performance helps them get through the day. Take a look.
To transform her business. And with her Windows 11 Copilot PC, she's ready to turn that idea into action. It all starts here. Recall remembers almost everything seen on Marcella's PC. In a personalized timeline, she can scroll or search to find exactly what she needs. And Recall provides her with privacy controls over what it can save. Her PC's neural processing unit's blistering fast performance powers unmatched AI capabilities, like live captions that can translate 40+ languages into English in real time, enhancing Marcella's communication with her teams around the world. And creating impactful summaries and striking images is faster than ever. So Marcella's team can craft presentations that go farther. When it's time for the big investor call, exclusive AI-powered Windows Studio effects like portrait light and eye contact give Marcella the professional polish she needs to shine. Unlock your team's superpowers with Windows 11 Copilot PCs. A new AI era begins at work with the fastest, most intelligent Windows PCs ever.
You saw some pretty neat things that she was able to do throughout her day using these powerful devices. And I am going to talk a bit about some of those features, how they can add value to your business. I, though, want to underscore the importance of security. Whenever there's an advancement, a new feature, a new capability that we like to talk about with you, we want to make sure that it's done in an incredibly secure way. Part of our Copilot PCs is incorporating into it our Microsoft Pluton security processor. This is a specialized layer of protection that is meant for these devices. It's a special chip that can be used as a TPM chip, or it can work with a TPM chip that device already has. This is important, especially as we look at new processor technology. These new processors require even more layers of added security to make sure that the integrity of the hardware is secure. So these are secured core PCs, whether they have Pluton or not. And if they do have that Pluton security processor for that extra level of performance and security, we love to see the outcomes that brings from a securing the organization standpoint. Part of that is the new hardware and the new processor options. We have seen commitments across the board from a variety of different manufacturers. We are looking at silicon from Qualcomm, AMD, Intel, and NVIDIA, who have all announced that they're creating powerful chipsets that can run these Copilot Plus experiences. Currently, the device processor that does support these experiences is the Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite and Qualcomm Snapdragon X Plus processors. These, I cannot underscore enough, are incredible milestones and leaps forward for Windows processing technology. Because for so long it's been these, notable improvements year over year from the historic manufacturers, Intel, AMD, who've been making Windows processors for a while. An ARM-based processor, like the type that Qualcomm creates, has been something that we've been working with them on for years. And finally now, there's been such a sizable jump in performance and efficiency that it has the potential, and we're currently seeing it is, to really change the way that people think about their Windows PCs. It is because of that processor advancement and the soon-to-come advancements from those other familiar faces that we set these as the minimum requirements for a Copilot Plus PC. It must have 16 gigabytes of RAM. Finally, I am very tired of 8 gigabytes of RAM being a considerable option in this day and age. We want to have a bit more of that RAM so you can run more things at once without slowing down your users. The devices need to have at least 256 gigabytes of storage so that we can have a large amount of data that can be processed locally on the device in a secure fashion when needed, and then when not needed, that can go right up into the cloud and we can free up space on that hard drive. But perhaps one of the biggest requirements is that not only does a Copilot Plus PC need to have one of those fancy neural processing units, but it needs to be over 40 trillion operations per second, or TOPS. There have been other devices that are AI PCs that have a neural processing unit. Intel's Core Ultra series feature neural processing units that go up to 11 trillion operations per second. We require 40 trillion in order to be considered a Copilot Plus PC so that it can run these experiences. There's an important reason why. We're familiar with the processor and a graphics card. The graphics card helps the processor by taking on some of those graphics intensive applications, doing that in a power efficient way. A neural processing unit does the same for any type of AI task. This helps across the board because the processor doesn't have to work as hard. I want to illustrate this for you. So I have videos that will run in time. One is a device that has simply a processor. One is a device with a processor and a graphics card. And then one is a device with a processor and a neural processing unit. The task, generate AI faces, AI-generated faces, all in sequence as much as you can. Here's how that played out. So in this video, you see the neural processing unit understands this type of request very well. The neural processing unit is a neural network, and that is more akin to these types of AI tasks. So you can see as it sits here and chugs through all of these faces, the graphics card equipped device is doing better than the CPU device. You'll see the CPU device is going very slow. The fans have kicked in on both of them, while the neural processing unit continues doing these very intensive applications really quickly and simply. That performance improvement helps not only make the device faster, but vastly saves on battery life. And that's how we're able to get some of these incredible battery life quotes that you see in our Copilot Plus PCs. But it's not only the hardware that is at play here. We also want to talk about the new features, the superpowers that are equipped to your users when they have a Copilot Plus PC. I will say that here at this very exciting launch moment, there are some features that add some incredible capability. I'm going to walk you through them in a bit. There are more to come. This is just the beginning. And when you opt to purchase a Copilot Plus PC through Insight, that device is going to have quite a long technological relevance. You're going to be able to run new AI applications as they come out because of the strict requirements that Microsoft has set for something to be called a Copilot Plus PC. Bear that in mind as we walk through some of these unique capabilities. When we talk about having our best presence inside of a call, we have some incredible Windows Studio effects that need a neural processing unit in order to run. This feature, portrait light, you saw that briefly in that video that we played a bit ago, can readjust the lighting on the face of the subject even where there was no lamp to begin with. This isn't just an Instagram filter-like layer that it puts over. It's actually using AI to recalculate what would happen if there was a light here and how would it strike that user, and doing that in time, frame by frame. This also means that we have some of the most realistic background blur possible. No more are we chopping off the edges of people's glasses or their headphones as they're talking. This AI layer, which runs on the device, is able to do that very clearly. And it applies it to the webcam feed. So that works if you're on Zoom, WebEx, using the camera app, or Teams. And you can have all of these wonderful effects. Eye contact is really important. I'm looking at you right now, and if I suddenly started presenting everything looking down here, it doesn't feel as natural or realistic as me making eye contact. But if I need to reference my notes, that can be difficult. We have eye gaze correction. It's an AI feature that runs on Copilot Plus PCs where it can take the user's eyes and shift them up so it looks more like we're making eye contact with the camera, even though they aren't. Varying degrees of success to this, I will say. But for the most part, it does a pretty good job. It certainly looks more like they're looking at the camera. So that's really important. Background noise has always been a trouble. Most noise isolation or noise suppression technologies isolate frequencies of sound, and lower the volume or mute those frequencies because we don't often find human voices operating in those. But if there is noise within the frequencies our human voices use, that's exceptionally hard to cut out, but not for AI. So voice focus and these unique capabilities in Windows Studio Effects use AI to identify which waveform patterns are humans' voice speaking and which patterns are anything but that, and remove them for a very clear, resonant sound, even though there's a very advanced processing layer being applied to the audio. Live translation is huge. You're used to seeing captions now when you watch a YouTube video or when you're watching TV, but instant translation is not as common. This runs in Windows 11 as a part of the operating system, so it doesn't matter what you're looking at. It could be a home video that you shot yourself or a work-in-progress marketing video that your team has been creating. You turn on live translation. If it's playing out your computer speakers, it will be transcribed and translated however you'd like. Think about equipping a new member of your team where English is their second language and showing them this feature as a part of their onboarding with their new Copilot PC. It opens up a world of comprehension for that user that wouldn't have otherwise been there. That is an incredible thing that we're able to bring into Windows 11 that is exclusive to Copilot PCs. One of the big new features with Copilot Plus is a feature called Windows Recall. What this is, it is a secure way where you can go back in time and refresh your own human memory about the things that you were doing on your computer. When I think of the term Copilot, I'm imagining I'm flying a plane and there is a person next to me who can answer questions, who can help me as I go about my journey. That is the case. You hit the Copilot key, you can type in a question, but I want it to remember what I'm doing. I want to be able to say to my PC Copilot, hey, gosh, I need to pull up that PowerPoint deck. I used it a couple weeks ago. It had said something about Azure Virtual Desktop, and it was showing me a plan comparison. I really need that slide. And this being able to search all of the different things I looked at, all the different websites, everything I've done, and say, oh, here it is. This is the thing that you're talking about. If I read an article, I can say, hey, look at the screenshot of that article and summarize it for me. Put the pros and cons into a table. It can use visual data in order to generate some incredible insights. We don't always remember everything that we've done, but this is a way that it can bring you that information in an instant, because if you saw it saw it too. That's a very bold claim, and one that requires an immense amount of trust. We understand this. So there is a lot of safeguards that have gone into creating Windows Recall. This is not something that is connected to the internet, explicitly not. It cannot be synced, you cannot access it remotely or from your phone. It must run on that computer. That computer saw it, those images, and they are images that it takes of your activity on the computer. That's private information. That is encrypted in the same way that all other sensitive data for the governments we work with around the world, that same level of encryption is applied to those images that it takes and uses for understanding and comprehension. You need to, in order to review those images, you have to authenticate again with a multiple factor authentication, and you need to stay in front of your computer. It actually requires presence detection in order to detect that it is you, a real living human being, looking at that information. If you leave the presence, then it will lock that view and it will not be available for anyone to take a look at, even if they had your password or you left your computer unlocked. These safeguards are in place to make sure that that information stays protected. But of course, like all of these features, it's optional. This will not be enabled by default. It will be an opt-in experience. Your organization could choose that you do not want this feature for your employees and you can deny it by policy. One thing you cannot do is enable it by policy. Every individual user, human being, must opt into the experience if they want to use it. Every individual user can always opt out. We do not build the capability for an organization to unilaterally force it upon everyone in the organization. It's a trust thing. AI is new. but it's also revolutionary and can allow us to do some really incredible things. Here's just a couple of quick examples as we close the page here on recall. I can say, hey, find that document I read 2 to 3 weeks ago with a European demographic information in a pie chart. Oh, there it is, instantly. Hey, summarize the main points from this demographic report into a table. Give me 3 to 4 pros and cons. Perfect. Now I'm going to open PowerPoint. Can you create for me an executive slide with a copy of that table? And then use our brand template for product X and just do it. It's going to take that human to go in there and refine it, but this can save hours and hours of time. A couple of other examples of how we can use Copilot. This one does require some licensing. A Copilot for Microsoft 365 license will allow you to use Teams meeting recordings to generate insights and much more. So I could say things like recap the key takeaways and action items from this meeting. Hallelujah. I don't have to do that every single time. Include who's responsible and then title it this. Then write an email to the attendees thanking them for attending, recapping these key takeaways, create a Teams meeting invite for this, title it expansion plan follow-up. This is talking to your computer. When I was a little boy watching Star Trek and seeing them talk out loud to their computer and it just does things, we're getting there, folks. It's very close. And this is allowing us to use our computer in incredible ways so that we can save time focusing on things that are more valuable using our beautiful, creative human brains. And get rid of these routine tasks that a computer should be able to do that are not rewarding or fulfilling or soul... wow, I was spacing my brain. Good for our soul. We want to do those types of tasks. Get rid of the routine ones. And let's get things in front of us that are adding even more value. From an IT standpoint, we're always keeping track of how easy is this, how manageable is this from an IT perspective. 58% of organizations experienced a drop in security incidents by moving to Windows 11 Pro devices from their old Windows 10 machines. As we approach the end of support for Windows 10, we know it's a critical time where a lot of you are considering what Windows 11 device might be the best fit for you. These Copilot PCs certainly putting their best foot forward. 20% of organizations have an increase in productivity for their security and their IT teams, which is also wonderful to see. I wanted to provide you a quick list in a full wrap-up. This is what we consider the features and capabilities of Copilot PCs, all in one beautiful slide. And I won't cover everything on here, but as we discussed, the battery life and energy efficient performance and the sheer speed of these devices are key. Speaking of key, Copilot Key, you'll find that across all of these different Copilot Plus devices, including Recall, Windows Studio Effects, and live captions with translation. Our commitment to security, quite prevalent, and making sure that it is in line with your own goals, that it's managed, customized, and ready for these Copilot Plus experiences, Copilot for Microsoft 365, Copilot Studio, and much more. All right, so which devices could be the right fit for you? I want to walk you through some of the first wave of these Copilot Plus PCs that were a part of our most recent launch. However, I'll encourage you to take a look at Insight's website for the most recent list of the devices that are available to order because new Copilot Plus PCs are coming out all the time. I'll start first with our friends at Lenovo. Lenovo has introduced the ThinkPad T14S Gen 6. This combines a lot of the things that people have loved about ThinkPad for years. A physical camera shutter, that classic mouse nub with the left and right click being above the keyboard, that iconic Lenovo design to this machine, while also embracing things like Wi-Fi 7 for incredibly fast connectivity. It also, of course, features that Snapdragon X Elite processor, that fastest, powerful option. And we also have an optional 5G connectivity on this device with an incredibly high amount of RAM, 64 gigabytes as an option on this machine. From Dell, we have the Dell Latitude 7455. This is Dell's premium option when it comes to a business-focused Copilot Plus PC. There's others, they have their XPS line for consumers that also has some Copilot Plus devices, but the 7455 is a beautiful 14-inch 4K pixel density display, optional 5G, Wi-Fi 7 compatibility, up to 22 hours of local video playback. This is meeting that high-end range of that battery life and performance. Dell also has an additional option from the 7455. They also have the 5455. Now this one has a slightly lower resolution display. The processor is the Snapdragon X Plus, not the Snapdragon X Elite. A little bit of a performance difference there, but still readily meeting the requirements of a Copilot Plus PC. This one doesn't have quite the battery life of the 7455, but it is still that nice budget-friendly, more easily scaled and deployed option from Dell, so it's nice to see two different tiers from that manufacturer. Samsung is also getting in on the activity with the Galaxy Book 4 Edge for business. This device features an AMOLED display. Really rich quality blacks when you're using this display really help with that battery life. So this is also reaching up to that max 22 hours of video playback quote. And it also has a digitizer to support pen input on the screen, which is really nice with Samsung's S Pen. So you have even more flexibility in how you can interact with this. From HP, we have the HP EliteBook Ultra G1Q. This is a 14-inch laptop from HP in a very beautiful design, I will say, that they've brought into this device. Really nice audio from Bang & Olufsen, as we are used to seeing with HP. They have some AI presence features for enhanced video collaboration that HP also adds in addition to the Windows capabilities. This is running the Snapdragon X Elite processor option, and a really beautiful 4K pixel density display in 14 inches. 50% recycled aluminum inside of the chassis of this device. Now, shifting gears, talking a bit about our own devices from Microsoft Surface. There are two Copilot Plus PCs in our Surface family. The Surface Pro 11th edition truly stands out in this list of devices as being incredibly unique because of its versatility. Everything I've shown you up until this point has been a classic laptop form factor. This is not. This is a powerful laptop and tablet combination, a two-in-one device where people can interact with it in whatever way works best for them. They can recline it all the way down into studio mode and ink and annotate on the screen, and they can also use it in laptop mode. As you see in the picture here, we've created a new version of this keyboard that is called the Surface Pro Flex keyboard, and it can operate detached from the screen wirelessly, and then when it's reattached, it charges. You can type for up to 41 continuous hours, that's a lot of typing, on this keyboard before you'll have to recharge it. This has flexible choice options as well. This can be configured with the X Elite or the X Plus processor. It can be configured with 5G or without 5G compatibility. And it has a 45 trillion operations per second processor with those options, so you have that power and performance. We also have an OLED screen as an option. This offers not quite that 22 hours of battery life. This is a thin and light chassis, but we still say an all-day battery on the Surface Pro 11th edition. Surface Laptop is also in on the action. So beyond just the 11th edition Pro, we have the 7th edition of Surface Laptop. This does introduce the first visual change to the Surface Laptop's chassis since it was introduced. Slightly rounded corners, a refined profile overall. This, in the press and in the reviews, has been getting a lot of attention as this type of flagship Copilot Plus laptop. It has that incredible power, the max battery life quote, 22 hours of quoted battery life on this device, a beautiful display resolution, a 120 Hertz refresh rate for a very smooth visual look and feel. There are two different sizes of device, 13.8 inch, which is what you see pictured here, as well as a 15-inch version. So you have two different options to present your users with from a size standpoint. It is the most recyclable with 67% recyclable materials, and all of the rare earth metals and aluminum alloys are 100% recycled on this device. So the laptop is certainly worthy of your consideration. But that's sort of the beautiful thing about Copilot PCs. It's not any one manufacturer. I'm not standing here telling you that Surface is the right option, or Dell is, or Lenovo, or Samsung, or HP. Any or all of those could be right for your users. And we're here on the Insight side to help guide you and to help find what that next right device can be. So whether you've worked with one of those different manufacturers for years and want to see what they have from Copilot Plus, or you're curious to explore something more, we encourage you to please reach out to our team at Insight. We want to be able to show you these different options, put them into your hands, allow you to try them out, run a proof of concept with you, talk through how we can incorporate your own images, your own deployments in your organization, and how we can best take advantage of these features. There is a lot of excitement in the PC industry. It's really a fun time to be talking to you about these things, because we get to talk about devices that we feel are really going to delight you, meet and surpass your expectations. So on behalf of all of us on Microsoft and the Insight team, we hope you found this valuable. It's been a pleasure having this chance to speak with you, and we'll talk to you soon.